Welcome to the shooter's mindset.
Hey guys, it's Jennifer from the Shooter's Mindset, and we are live with episode 399, almost at 400. We have our co-host tonight, Greg Cannon, who's like out of town or something in a hotel room. How's it going, Greg?
Pretty good. Just hanging out up here in Michigan where there's this weird white stuff on the ground, and yeah, that's about it.
It's cold up there. Yeah.
It is that for sure.
You and Mark can keep that white.
It's called snow.
It's called misery. Misery is what it's called.
It's going away soon.
Corey, our other co-host, how's it going?
Good. I did some LARPing this weekend.
Fun. I bet you don't have any white stuff on the ground where you're at.
No, ma'am. It's raining 70 degrees.
Nice and warm.
Yeah.
And our guests of the hour tonight, we have Mark Skeelz and Jill Lockwood from TriggerTech. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. You?
Doing well. We hadn't had you on in a while. I was like, we got to get Mark back on.
Yep.
Time to talk some triggers.
Yeah, I was dodging you for a bit, but we're here and we're happy to be here.
That's right. I feel very offended.
It's our favorite show to be on. So yeah, long overdue. We're happy to be back. So thanks for having us.
That's right. So for anybody that maybe hasn't seen the other shows that you've been on or don't know you because they live under a rock, because everybody should know you that shoots in our precision world because your triggers are great. So for anybody that doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got in competitive shooting and working at TriggerTech.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, went to school for media and advertising. Was working in marketing field as video editing and stuff like that too, and then doing some e-commerce website stuff too. Got into some armed security for a bit too, and then saw a posting for TriggerTech, which was sales, marketing, and e-commerce, which is what they're hiring for. So it was kind of a match made in heaven for me. So been hunting for a while too. I didn't get competitive shooting until I started working with TriggerTech. So been down that rabbit hole of precision rifle and reloading and all that stuff too. So it's super fun. I need to do a bit more of it. And this year, that's my goal, is to shoot more matches. So that's me in a nutshell. I've been here for 6 years.
That's awesome. It seems like just yesterday. Golly.
Yeah.
We love TriggerTech. It's always one of my favorite booth sit shot show. And
Yeah, I think I was employee number 14 6 years ago, and we're way more than that now, and a much larger facility now too. So the growth has been great, and it's been really great to be a part of it too.
That's awesome. And then Jill, for anybody that doesn't know you, because you're not a stranger to shooting either, you've been around for sure, but anybody that doesn't know you, kind of tell us how you got into shooting and ended up working, to our surprise, because I didn't realize you had moved over, at TriggerTech.
Yeah, so I grew up in the gun industry. My father's had a gun range and gun store for about 30 years now. So I worked there for a long time, learned everything I could possibly learn about firearms in the California region, and then couldn't learn anymore. So I moved to Arizona to learn about all of the other wonderful guns in the world. Became the retail manager at Tombstone Tactical, and then was hired on by a trigger company about 5 years ago. So I've been solely in the trigger industry for about 5 years, and then was lucky enough to transition into TriggerTech in September.
Awesome. Yeah, we didn't realize you were there. And then Mark today was like, can Jill come? I was like, absolutely. That would be great.
Thanks for having me.
So before we get too deep into all the new stuff that y'all have, or, what we want to talk about, tell us a little bit about the start of TriggerTech, because it's kind of a cool start. And I don't know if I feel like TriggerTech is very well known in precision rifle. Everybody knows TriggerTech. Y'all are so out there at matches, and that's great. Everybody loves it. But tell us kind of how the company got its start.
Yeah, so this is actually our 10-year anniversary. This year, I don't know the exact date, but it's our 10 year this year. So TriggerTech actually started on crossbows 10 years ago. So I think for the first 2 or 3 years, we were just doing Excalibur and Mission and 10-point crossbow stuff too. So our CTO, Matt Slepowski, big hunter, big shooter, crossbow hunting, had an awful trigger, ended up costing him a pretty big buck due to a poor trigger, and he's figured there's got to be a better way to make a better trigger. He's from the automotive background, engineering. So him and Greg in their basement kind of started up with TriggerTech with this roller system that they were working on. And was successful with the crossbows. And then they got into REM 700 triggers, and then ARs the year after that too. And then last couple of years we're branching out a lot right now too, and then a lot more to come out later this year for us too. So briefly how it started.
That's a really cool start to it. I know everybody.
Yeah. So on our T here, if you can see, it's actually an arrow.
You know, I've never realized that, and I have a TriggerTech hat. I have a TriggerTech jacket that has it on it, and I never noticed that there was an arrow.
Yeah, because we're just crossbows when the logo was made. So
We were at a couple of things that was cold at, and the Canadian did not need his jacket, and I did. So I stole his jacket to the point that he finally was like, you need a jacket. So at SHOT Show 1 year, I got a jacket, and I wear that thing all the time. And people are like, what does that mean? What is that? Is that a T? I'm like, that's TriggerTech, just the best trigger everywhere.
nice.
Do we have any? My chat is acting funny.
Yeah. Jake Weber just wanted to let Mark know that he looks really fly.
Thanks, Jake. Jake's the best.
Gotta love
Jake.
precision rifle.
You're the best.
How the
I don't care what John Pinch says, Jake. You're the best.
oh no, now we're gonna have a war going.
So there's a lot of different high-end precision triggers on the market nowadays. What kind of separates TriggerTech from the rest of them?
Yeah, so I mean, there's lots of trigger companies and they all make great triggers too. But TriggerTech has some unique patents and technology which does separate us from our competition. So all triggers are sliding friction based. So you got two surfaces rubbing together, they break, the gun goes off, right? So you have to have creep as these surfaces are going before they break. We have that roller between these two surfaces. So we're essentially just kind of camming out. So that allows us to get rid of creep, a nice super crisp break, much longer service life because there's less wear on the engagement areas on rolling friction as opposed to sliding friction. And we're not susceptible to contaminants as much as sliding friction triggers because that roller will kind of act as a filter in the engagement area. So if people say, hey, I tons of dust and my trigger feels gritty, we always say just dry cycle it a dozen times. That'll usually kind of filter out what's in the engagement and you should be good to go after that. And there are holes at the bottom of our housing to let the debris get out. If that doesn't work, a light solvent, lighter fluid, and some compressed air, and you should be fine to go. But they are kind of self-cleaning. There's no oil in them. They do run dry. So I guess, yeah, getting rid of the creep is a huge thing. The longer service life and be much more resilient to harsh environments because of that design. I think definitely what separates us from the competition. Our adjustability is pretty easy. You can adjust trigger from the outside of the firearm with an Axle DN system for your pull weights. You're not taking the gun apart or springs or opening up housings or our pull weight adjustment is idiot proof. So you cannot adjust the trigger to a point. For lack of better term, you can't adjust the trigger to a point where it becomes unsafe. So if you screw it all the way in, that's the max pull weight, it'll bottom out. You screw it all the way out, the screw actually will fall out. And it's meant to do that on purpose because that way you can't get to a pull weight where the trigger becomes unsafe. So we do say, if you want to get to your lowest pull weight, you can take the screw right out, put it in 3 clicks. The first three clicks will not affect your pull weight, and then you get the lowest pull weight setting of your trigger.
That's good to know. I had a screw fall out. I just put it back in.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's meant to come. Like, you can run it without if you wanted to. It's nice to close that hole, but you just get your lowest pull weight without the screw in it.
Huh. Interesting.
Cool. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I thought that I was a nerd and knew a whole lot about TriggerTech, but I also just learned a thing.
Yeah.
The self-cleaning is something that I've definitely seen work before. I may know someone who might have sent a picture of hosing down a mud-covered brand new rifle with a garden hose to a Facebook group chat.
Okay.
And I was like, you need to bring that by the house on the way home. And I was highly experienced in working with guns in general, but this is before I got into precision rifle shooting. And I looked at the the trigger, and there's a big shiny sticker that says warranty void if you take this apart or something to those lines. So it's like, hey, I think I need to take this apart. I called the nice guys up at TriggerTech, and they're like, no, like really, just like dry fire the gun, and like if it's really bad, put some lighter fluid in there. And I mean, it felt like sandpaper. The gun was so bad, and it after probably 20 to 30 rounds, it broke up everything, flowed all through, and I think that trigger's still working today.
It is.
Awesome.
That trigger still works amazingly. Oh, not that it was me that did that, but
Well, yeah, that's great, and glad to hear that that worked for you. Yeah, don't open the triggers up. Our triggers are constructed still differently, and if you try to put it back together, there's a good chance it's not going to work or it might not be safe. We do have special closing devices for our housings and stuff too. Everything's very well, very controlled. If we do open the trigger up, we retest with very vigorous testing. So yeah, please don't open them up. Please call customer service. Ryan and Trent are great here. Top-notch customer service with those guys. They're very responsive, and we have a product lifetime warranty on our products. So just call. If you have a problem, call us. If we can't fix it over the phone, get it back and we'll get you a new one. Get you up and running as soon as possible.
did you shoot that LRSC in 2018? That was a mud fest.
I don't remember it. I'm a fair weather shooter, but
Oh, you probably didn't. Oh, well, you're Canadian. You wouldn't have been worried about the weather, the temperature. It was
I'm only getting my
coldest-
guns in my nice expensive guns dirty. I like keeping nice and shiny and looking nice.
Well, and it was cold. It was the coldest it could be without snowing. So it was still raining, which is worse. I'd rather it just snow because it doesn't like saturate into everything quite as bad. So it was like raining and 32.1 degrees Fahrenheit. And it was awful, but we ended up like, it was all in mud puddles, like everything. So I will be a testament to I have more than one TriggerTech trigger, and all of them have been in mud, sand from out west, that stuff that like blows and gets in your teeth and everywhere. So I know it's in my trigger, in my teeth also. Yeah, Corey, because you have that out there.
It's wonderful.
And I've never had a trigger. One of my TriggerTech triggers have never had a problem.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And I used to dig gap grind 2 years ago, and it rained 80% of the time and just mud everywhere. And my rental car, like, they didn't have more trucks left, so they gave me a charger, and I had to push that thing out every day from the mud in the parking lot. Just mud everywhere. It was brutal. I was like, that whole charger was just covered in mud. So I returned it.
I remember seeing you there. You were, because that was the one that I wanted to hug Shannon, because he's like, you're gonna shoot, you're gonna RO in the Connex, and normally that's pretty bad because it's so loud and boomy in there. But like, I legitimately found out how bad the rain and mud was by like looking at Greg Moore's pictures online, because I was so dry the whole weekend.
Yeah. Well, you'd be on your knees, and like the mud would be like 4 or 5 inches up on your knee, shooting, and it's just like, yeah, that was fun though. Whatever.
Yeah.
When you hit them all, that's like people talking about your rental car. It's it's like people that end up renting and they get a minivan, and then it's like the muddiest, nastiest range ever, and there's a minivan like mud bogging.
Yeah.
I think it was muddy in Alabama when somebody pulled in like a BMW or whatever, like the nicest car the rental company rented, and someone made a comment to them, and they're like, I told the guy where I was going and that he shouldn't give me the car. Said it's all they had, so here I am.
I've done that too, where every time usually I rent a pickup truck when I go to matches, and every time I don't get a pickup truck, I get a BMW or a Charger or whatever I get. It's always muddy and rainy and brutal. The truck gets nice and sunny. I don't need it.
Yeah. Well, they call it the Precision Rain Series, right? So
yeah,
got to live up to it. Yeah. So I guess January we had Jen's type of weather where it rained Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we replaced, I think, 7 different triggers. So I was wondering, what is the actual mechanical failure? Like when a guy gets water or sand or whatever in the chamber, how does that break the trigger?
Yeah, I think was that the Texas match?
Yeah, that's our match.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was like a we heard all about the trigger issues having there. So it could be a range of issues.
Okay.
So like, yes, it was very muddy. You get some huge chunks, get your trigger or excess mud or excess dirt. Like, you can't pack them full of stuff and this don't work. So that's one thing. They could get gummed up big time. You might have to actually take them out and use some lighter fluid, compress there, and actually flush them out. If that's the issue too, with that, that kind of weather, was it raining? It was raining, right?
Oh, it was pouring rain. It was delightful.
So a big thing too is with that rain, it gets in your chamber too, right? So you have increased pressure, and it just increase the chances of it getting a pierced primer. Pierced primers are trigger's nemesis. They can range from very small to the actual action blowing up, and I saw that at Altus's match when the action blew up in the guy's face 4 years ago or something like that too. So it depends. I've had guys pop 40 primers in a match and the trigger's still running at 4 ounces, no big deal. I've had a guy pop one primer and the whole action blows up, or the trigger blows up, or the sear breaks. Yeah. So it all depends on the degree of that catastrophic failure. It's an ammo and a gun issue. It's not a trigger issue. Basically, you get a pierced primer, all those forces come back out the back of the bullet and they go down into the trigger. And so, and that's just, you've got a performance 4-ounce trigger and you got explosion that, comes back into that precision device. It's not good. So if you do get pierced primers, well, we do have a pierced primer replacement policy. I think we replace them for $40 or $60 for diamonds. If you do get a pierced primer, trigger may work fine, but there could be some stress fractures too in the critical engagement areas. So we always say if you're popping a bunch of primers, and it's like, call us up, we can exchange it for you for a small fee. So we can tell if it's a pierced primer. So when you get these triggers back, we do look at things under a microscope. We can see peening in the metal and the engagement areas too, so we can tell there's a force going back down into the trigger. We can tell, like, there's like, here's the image, you popped a primer, and a lot of guys either they don't know, they weren't checking, or they don't admit it because they want to spend $300 on your trigger. But we can find out. And please just tell us. We're shooters too. We get it. We're here to help you guys and support you too. So, and also educate you a bit too. We do have a section on our website on the warranty, I think, or some of the popular problems that we do see. But we do have an excellent warranty and customer service program. So something happens, just call us, let us know what happened. We want to know what happened too and learn. And we do log everything that happens too and try to make our products better. Pierce primers is a tough one. So I would say at that match, we have got some triggers back. Some of them were pierce primers. We're waiting on some more triggers to come back to figure out what happened with those, because we did hear about that match. Excess dirt, rain, mud, getting there. I mean, put too much in, they're not going to work. Clean them out, and then pop in primers with increased pressure, especially in the rain, can destroy a trigger too. And that destroy any trigger. It's not just a TriggerTech. So
yeah, we saw it. But that's a super cool program. I mean, like the honesty thing you talked about, right? Just, like, tell us, because we want to take care of you, but also like logging it and making it better over time. That's when you tell like someone actually cares about, like, how can we make this thing much better?
Absolutely. And every trigger comes back, gets analyzed and logged, and big spreadsheets and data and stuff like that too. And that's good feedback for engineers too. Like, hey, we've had a bad batch, or something's going on, or hey, we can improve something. I mean, even our adjustment, our pull weight adjustment screw, over the last few years, we've had 3 gens of it, and we're always improving things in the background that people don't know about to make it more reliable, more robust and stuff too. But it's just, it's very valuable data for our products to make sure we're always adapting and improving, because we're always doing that stuff in the background, and we probably should tell people what we're doing, but just know that we're always improving. So
yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool for like the engineering brain, like just knowing like someone is actually looking at the issue and trying to make it better.
Yeah, we have a pretty robust, vast engineering department with a lot of really smart people here that really care and do a great job. I always emphasize the tech in TriggerTech, and that's pretty well what we are here. We're very techy, very data driven, engineering and stuff like that too. So it's great to be part of a company like that.
I wish we had the picture that was on the thing. We didn't make it a SHOT Show this year, but last year at SHOT Show in your booth, I don't know if y'all have the same booth, but it had the huge picture of the trigger. And when we did the video, you stood there and pointed and showed how it worked, which, I mean, I'm kind of a nerd, and I thought that was really cool. Like,
I took that picture, by the way.
Did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm really curious now because my last centerfire match was a disaster, and I was trying to get through it real efficiently. So I was removing the primer from almost every round that I fired as I was firing it, to the point where Christy Hember would not get on the bus to RO me when I was shooting one stage. So I kind of want to like send that, and ooh, there we go.
This is probably not a good idea, but okay. So here are triggers here. So right in here, that's the secret sauce right there. That's the patented technology with the roller between the sear and we call it the ticker. So you see it here in our AR triggers, it's down here, right there. And then our REM triggers, if you can see it, it's right there.
Yeah.
So that's what makes TriggerTech unique. As you can see with our triggers here, they are very, very different. That's our single stage diamond right here. And I will show you. And here's our 2-stage, and it's a lot more complicated. There's a lot more going on there. Some pretty cool stuff with the 2-stage too. So, you know, I know you want to see that image, Jen. That's over there. You're welcome.
So Jill, your last couple of years in the trigger industry has been different than Mark's. And you know, we're talking overall triggers here as far as point of failures. Would you say that what you've seen has been similar to what Mark has seen, or are there other things that you've noticed?
Yeah, I mean, with triggers in general, I mean, unless you're talking about like old school factory triggers, it's a precision tool that's going into a rifle, right? It's a precision made part of that rifle now. And so obviously debris, dirt, mud, catastrophic failures, all of that are gonna apply to anything that has any sort of tight tolerances. So things like that, I think you're gonna see across the board. Another unique thing about TriggerTech that a lot of people don't know about is that the quality control aspect of it, like behind the scene. I was overly impressed when I went to their facility and saw how things are checked, the processes that they do, and the extent that they go through to make sure that every single trigger is perfect when it leaves that facility. So it's over time, when we kind of expand on enlightening everyone on how all of that works, I think people are going to be blown away.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be opening the doors to TriggerTech to Jill. Ever.
Look,
Like, hey, welcome, come on in. And
I remember one Precision Expo, y'all were across from each other. And it was like, if I went to one booth, the other one was mean mugging me.
Yeah.
Like, why are you over there? Need to come over here. That's one that Mark's like, it's cold out there. Do you need a jacket? And I was like, yeah. I think he was trying to, make sure I stayed on that side.
I did that. I gave you the jacket before you interviewed Jill over there. So you had a TriggerTech jacket as we're interviewing.
That is true. I did have a TriggerTech jacket.
That was not a free jacket. That was done on purpose, by the way.
Hey, it's advertising. I don't mind. I won't advertise.
That's
for
a
just
smart
anybody.
move.
Yeah, I think we might start getting some videos out too and show some of the stuff. I mean, we do have a lot of proprietary technology and devices here, and that we're very different and unique than other people too. So we're hoping sometime this year you might see a little bit of our facility. You won't be able to see everything, but there might be some things that people can see. We might be able to show, come to the chocolate factory and you'll see our secrets and stuff. So we might show some stuff throughout this year with some new videos on that too. But yeah, it's definitely, you could eat off the floor here. It's very clean and very techy. So hopefully we'll see some stuff later this year.
I want to come visit. I've never been.
I want to do like a Charlie the Chocolate Factory for like Black Friday. It's like a golden ticket, and you can come to TriggerTech.
That would be, dude. I would totally come. Wait,
Just
not
like
for
we
Black
fly you up, and
Friday.
you come here for a couple of days. You can hang out here. We go shoot. We do whatever. Like
Not for Black Friday. Do that junk in the summer. I'm not coming up there in the wintertime.
no, you have to come up in February.
No. Too cold.
Yeah,
There's not enough jackets in the world. You'd have to give me a jacket with some electricity in it.
we do have those.
See, now the manufacturing guy in me and the quality control guy in me is getting really excited about what you guys are going to be putting out, because just looking at the tight tolerances and the true precision of what you produce, it would be awesome to see kind of some of your quality control measures and how you're able to get everything so tight inside of them. So I'm excited for these videos. But yeah, also I'm gonna go and start looking for my golden ticket because that would be fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is great when we serialize all of our triggers. We know every part and every batch that goes into the triggers. So if there's a problem, we know exactly what triggers are affected or not, which is unique to TriggerTech on that too. And there's going to be another level of that probably in this year as far as data and data collection per trigger and stuff too. So yeah, it's always growing here, and it's very cool. I got hired 6 years ago, and I come from a film and advertising background, and I was, walking, to the tour. I'm like, oh man, we got to be a video. We got to show them. I do all this stuff. Cool. We got to show them. And they're like, no, it's proprietary, secret.
So it's funny that my favorite Canadians talking about this stuff, because my second favorite Canadians are actually the guys that sold me my system at work to do just that, of the traceability, lot to lot, serial number, and all that information.
Yeah, I'm still
That's awesome.
I'd love to just walk around my laptop, but maybe not.
Yeah, we could do that.
I want to come do
All right.
data with
You
I wanna
can
come do
you see
data
my
on
office here.
TriggerTech.
There's me.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I want a picture of you on my wall too. That's not fair.
Sure. I'll send you one.
Is that on metal?
It's acrylic.
Acrylic? Yeah. It looks very cool.
That's sweet looking. So we're about at the midpoint of the show. Remember, if you're watching us live on Facebook, ask any questions you may have in the comments section of the video, and we'll make Corey ask it live on air, since I can't see that on my iPad. Other ways to catch us, you can always check back on Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. Videos stay up there forever. We usually upload to all the podcast apps the night after the show. We'll upload this one not tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night. We'll see what time I get back to Georgia. And eventually everything ends up on the Shooter's Mindset YouTube page, which is happening a lot faster now. So that's also a great place to look back all the way to episode 1.
And it stays forever. So you can go watch the other TriggerTech episodes too, if you really love TriggerTech.
If you're into binge watching, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Lots of information. I learn something on every show. So we've talked a lot about precision, because that's kind of where my heart is now. And that's a lot of what y'all do, right? Is precision rifle. But y'all kind of have branched out a little bit. And man, I'm so bummed, because this year I didn't make it a SHOT Show. And the year before, we were like, you were kind of sneaking some information about this Glock trigger, and we're like, man, you got to let us know as soon as it comes out. We got to get you on the show and talk about it. And then when it was out this year at SHOT, we didn't get to see it. So tell us a little bit about it. What makes it special? When did it come out? What's the price point? Give us all the deets.
Yeah. So we're a ways away. We don't have a release date for the Glock. It won't be anytime soon. Unfortunately, it's a whole different adaptation of our technology. We're trying to add some new features and stuff and make it different. We got some cool new stuff we're doing. Can't talk too much about it. We don't have a price point yet. We'll probably be in line. We have a few different models for it as well, but it's just too early to kind of give any details. We did get first shots downrange last month, I think, but it does take quite a while to develop and actually release a trigger. And this is just a whole new animal of safety and a different platform that we've done before too. And it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be different. It's definitely gonna be different. It's gonna be cool. So that's all I can say. We're hoping to get out by the end of this year. No promises on that too, but it'll be a big release for us for sure. But hopefully towards the end we'll have some more details and stuff, and that'll be a good one for us for sure. So sorry you get to play with it. It was a bit elusive at SHOT Show, and you weren't even there anyway. But we're very, very excited about that. So
hey, if you need somebody to test it, I have been known to break Glock triggers.
perfect. You're top of the line for testers. People
So
that
if I don't break it, that means it's really good, right? I mean, literally mid-match, I broke my trigger pin.
I have a few people, people that always breaks up, like Rick Scrivens from GCP Rifles, break stuff all the time. So I always send tests to him. If he can break it, then I know it's good.
It's a strong hand. By the way, Rick chimed in on the lives and said picking up Jill was one of your best things ever.
Yeah.
Yay, Jill.
Yep.
Rick.
Jill's been a great addition to the team TriggerTech, and is doing very well. She's been in this for a long time and knows what she's doing, and I was competing with her for years. So it's nice to have her on the team here and having a lot of value to TriggerTech. And happy to have you, Jill. Thanks for coming.
From enemies to best friends. I say that, but even when y'all were working for different companies, this is part of what I love about the precision rifle community is y'all were competing against each other, selling things, right? Because like, especially at the expo where people actually could buy things, you know, you're right across from each other and you're competing, trying to get business. And then, you know, it's over and we're all like, all right, we're all going to dinner. And like everybody goes to dinner together, you know, same with the scope guys, like, you know, Vortex and Loophole and, you know, Night Force all go to dinner together. Like there's some camaraderie, even though there's healthy competition with businesses going on, and everybody's always been friends. And, you know, even if y'all jab each other a little bit, it's always been good.
So I'd say it's great as far as the industry that people have been competing companies or different companies all hang out, and you know, it's really nice to be part of that community. And I played every sport competitively growing up, and lots of clubs and groups. I would say the shooting industry is by far the most inviting, generous, kind group of people. So it's nice to work in the industry.
I agree with you. So with the Glock trigger, I know you can't give a lot of details, but is the target audience going to be just the, you know, down the street gun owner that has Glocks or concealed carry, or is it going to be competitive shooting like USPSA?
We both. So we'll have a lower pull weight model for those competitive shooters, and we'll have more of a higher pull weight model too for duty people and stuff too. There will be some pretty cool pull weight adjustability features on it. So similar to, I guess, our current adjustable triggers where there's a pull weight range adjustment. We'll have that on the Glock as well, with different models of lower pull weights up to some heavier pull weights too. Yet to be determined on those ones, but there'll be a model for every shooter, I would say.
Cool.
So one of the kind of
Awesome.
banes of like replacement Glock triggers has always been you have to run with a softer primer. Are you targeting any primer? Or is this going to be
really like, can't say too much.
okay? That's fair. That's fair.
We're doing some different stuff than other aftermarket triggers out there. To really tell, I don't know what is going to be the product or what may not be, or is concept still. So I don't want to say too much.
Totally fair.
But it'd be worth the wait. I'll just say, if it does what they say to do, it'll be worth the wait. And I'm pretty sure the engineers will make it more than what they say it's because they always do. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. How different is the trigger adjustment, given that the pistol is going to be moving quite a bit more than the rifle? Okay, that's fair.
I'm going to be a politician here. I'm going to talk about something, talk about climate change and the side,
I do think that handguns
anything
are more
close.
complicated, and like I'm excited to see it just because the technology that y'all have in precision rifles that are, I mean, I would think they're the simplest triggers out there because there's not as much going on. And so for y'all to take that tech and translate it over into a pistol, I'm really excited to see what they do with it. Because
it's there's different gens of blocks and different models, and it's just a whole it's not like a AR RAM 700, right? So no, the guys are working on it, and it's going to be something very exciting. So that's all I have to say about that.
Mark's like, don't ask me any more questions. We're gonna get to the water torture in a minute.
But we are releasing, I would say sometime in the next month-ish, we'll have a release date published this week. We do have a price point line of AR triggers. We're calling our AR duty line. So we're very excited about these. They're so they feel a bit different at different price points. So I guess the main difference the difference production-wise on these is that they're in a die-cast housing. So our current housings are in anodized aluminum. They're very nice. These are in a die-cast, a grade die-cast housing, which is kind of where the cost savings is coming from. And then we're machining all of those in-house. Here, they are going to feel a bit different. So On the 2-stage, there's gonna be a longer take up than what we're calling our performance line, which is our existing line. And then there's a heavier reset. So a lot of shooters actually, they do want a longer take up and a more forceful reset. So we did that for about half the price. So our fixed 3.5 AR trigger will be retail for $129. So we're and same
Wow.
technology on the inside. I might have one here. The version here, but you can kind of see there's the die cast housing. So
Okay.
it's just different. This is
Yep.
an early thing, but
Is that
you
an
can
AR
see
10?
it's just it's a die cast housing that we're doing in house.
Yeah.
And then I said the same technology on the inside, same roller system, same everything on the inside, but we're retailing a fixed 3.5 at $129. So should be maybe end of April, May, but we'll publish it on our website sometime this week. But this is
Oh, it's there.
a game changer. Yep, yeah, it's on there too. So very excited about that too, because I mean it's we're you know, a lot of shooters do, you know, we do they're very fine instruments, our triggers, and our diamond, there's very short take up, short over travel. A lot of people really like that. I do too, but some people do want that longer take up. If you're doing a sort of military or law enforcement, or you're wearing gloves and stuff, you want to have, you know, longer take up. You want a more positive, forceful reset that kind of, you know, pushes you forward a bit. So they do feel different. Same technology in them, and then a different price point as well. So there'll be the fixed 3.5 and the fixed 5.5 on the duty line. There won't be any adjustable ones for the duty line, but we should have that release date by the end of this week, published on our website. And now you can get into TriggerTech for $129, which is great. So we're very excited for that release.
That's
It's gonna be very big. It's gonna
awesome.
be huge for as far as OEMs too now, as well, which Jill is working on. But even for the average shooter now that doesn't want to spend, you know, $250, $300, they can now get it for $129, or what's on sale even less too. So very excited about that release. We'll have a release video hopefully next month on it as well, and just kind of go through what makes it different and awesome. So we're pretty excited for that one too. Just going through some product releases. We are working on Tika, Howla, and Seiko right now. Hope to have those out by the end of the year as well. But we did show prototypes at SHOT Show. The Tika feels amazing. So we're very excited about those releases too. And then we got Glock, we got these ones, the Ruger RPR we're still working on as well. So a lot of stuff coming out later this year. I guess the last couple of years with the pandemic boom and all that increased stuff, we just focused on making sure we were supplying our customers on time. We also did move to a new facility last year as well. Or not last year, the year before, I guess, November. So we're in a much larger state-of-the-art facility now than our current one too. So between the move and internal changes and the pandemic and stuff, new products got put on the back burner a bit. But this year will be the year to get some new stuff out, new platforms for our customers. So very exciting.
That's a lot. That is a ton.
Yeah.
So we
I'm
had a
guaranteeing they're
live.
all coming out this year. We're working.
We had a live, and I was wondering if you could just at a very basic level describe the difference between a direct mount and a trigger hanger.
Yeah, so I mean, so a trigger, this will go just right in the firearm here, and then you've got these two pins here, right? So these two pins will go right through the action, and trigger goes in here. If you had a trigger hanger, it's a piece that goes on top of the trigger, and it basically will go over this top part. You see, is here. It'll go over this top part here on both sides, and the pins will go through it. And then there'll be a screw on the front or front of the back. Then you put that in there and you screw the screw, which is holding the hanger. So the hanger gets pinned into the trigger, then the screw, two screws, will go into the action itself. So there is some advantages. I mean, with hangers, there are different specs of hangers to give you more or less engagement. So if you're trying to time your action or get your trigger working better with certain action, there are different heights you can use. I'm not an expert on that, but there are some advantages you can use the hanger. They're easier to take your trigger out. If you're in the field, you just got to take one screw as opposed to banging out or getting a punch and a hammer.
Right.
To bang out, you're not banging the trigger and stuff too. So there are some action manufacturers that do use a hanger, and there's some that don't. So
Cool. Very cool.
I love that you're the marketing guy, but you still have a very full understanding of how it all works. Sometimes with companies, you talk to the, the guy that's really, more marketing, not the engineer, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, I do say that sometimes, but
You seem
No,
to
I
have the
agree.
answers most time when I have a question, so.
yeah, but being the early on guys in the company, you wear a lot of hats, and I still do, and I'm in all departments and just helping out where I can, and after 6 years, you have a deep understanding of this little tiny device. So yep.
So I know you just went over like 18 different new triggers, but is there any other handgun trigger you're coming out with?
We're focusing on Glock right now. We will,
Okay.
once we get one done, I'm sure we'll get into all the other major platforms too. Like I said, it does take a lot of time and resources for us to make a trigger and take it to market from concept to launch date. It's a lot of work to do. So I'm not guaranteeing
Yeah.
we're getting all those triggers out this year. We are working on them
Yeah.
diligently.
Very fair.
That's awesome though, to know what's kind of in the works.
Yeah, it's exciting. Very, very exciting. So also we are getting into archery releases too. We will have an index release
Ooh.
this year. So we're almost done the design stuff. We got prototypes going out to people and stuff too. So there will be an index release. It's very cool. Feels very nice. From some of the pro shooters, it's been very well received from what I hear. Our wrist strap is probably the most comfortable thing you've ever put on your hand. So we're very excited for that too. That's coming out sometime this year. I don't know when that's coming out, but there's some cool adjustability features on it. It's still going to use our roller technology as well. The wrist strap's very, very nice too. So that's just something else we're getting into as well. Any of you guys archery people, verticals?
Not much, a little bit.
I will
So,
now get bigger, but
you know the saying, can't hit the broadside of a barn?
Yeah.
I've literally accomplished that with a bow and arrow.
yeah. No, they didn't.
When I was younger. Like, you know what? I like these guns better. I got a bow and arrow when I was younger, and my dad set up a little target, and he's like, I'm gonna put this in front of the wide side of the shed, so that this way, just in case you miss, you won't hit the neighbor's dog. Well, I missed the target, I missed the shed, and I still don't know where that arrow is.
If you miss the dog.
Yeah, at least.
I did miss the dog, but the dog lived at least a little while longer.
Yeah.
So we'll let each of you guys kind of answer this question and kind of your own perspective. Where do each of you guys see the precision rifle competition, say 5 years from now?
Shooting electronic triggers on spaceships and no.
Yes. Let's go.
I don't know. It's a good question. Hopefully, it's not changing too much. I mean, it's really cool to see now that the aftermarket and competitive market is really kind of driving the innovation that trickles into the military, law enforcement and stuff too. That these companies like TriggerTech and other companies too that drive that innovation, which is great because everyone's benefiting from that too. I don't know. I guess will we be shooting like those electric magnetic bullets? Right, like I don't know the gun's called the military, but I mean, yeah, it's a good question. Like, what will the new caliber be in 5 years? What will the new material and coatings be in the barrels? What will triggers look like? I mean, there's some innovation coming out of some other trigger companies with different stuff too, and we're always changing things too. I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be somewhat the same, but I think there'll just be maybe a new fad of a caliber. Some new companies are always trying to improve their products. So I don't know where our triggers will be in 5 years either. I'm not really giving you a good answer on that, but Jill, you go.
It will be really interesting to see actually how it goes over the next 5 years and just where it ends up with, especially with platforms, because now that we are out of COVID and all of the nonsense we've all been going through, seeing manufacturers now pushing more towards innovation and just doing different things with their rifles, with bolts, with just the whole design of everything. It will be interesting to see how triggers are going to need to adapt and change to those, because there's some manufacturers out there right now that are getting really creative, and it's really fun to see. So it'll be neat to see what we'll have to do to adapt to those as well.
Yeah, there's always new coatings too and stuff on, you know, like bulk carrier. What's the one, the new on the bulk carriers for ARs? What is it?
Like
DLC.
I tried.
Not DLC.
Dynamite. No.
It's Ion Bond, or it's one you can just wipe
Oh,
off.
the Ion Bond stuff that
Yeah,
Terrence
the
is
Ion
doing?
Bond. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would just say like TriggerTech is innovating too, right? No one's doing a die cast housing. And it's a huge cost savings, and we're passing on to our customers too. So I mean, we're giving the same performance of a product, you know, for less cost. But yeah, there's always new coatings, there's new materials. TriggerTech is, you know, a huge fan of new materials as well too. So I think just improving the product and making things more reliable will be a big thing. But as far as the PRS, I don't know. Maybe holograms for targets. That'd be pretty cool.
It's so crazy when you look back at how far it's come so far, and then to think, you know, I mean, in anything, I remember as a kid, if you just said, you know, well, you're going to have, you know, a computer that you can carry in your backpack, and a computer, you know, in your hand that goes everywhere with you, and it's going to be a camera and a calendar and a phone and a internet and, you know, everything. Yeah. And the watch is like, I'd have been like,
This has more processing power than my first computer,
Mhm.
and it's on my wrist.
So when you look at just shooting, you know, back, you know, the OGs, they were shooting without tripods. You know, they had a sock full of rice, a lot of them, you know, just very simplified. They didn't have tuners. You know, they didn't have all the things that are on the guns now. They didn't have really crisp, great triggers like TriggerTech triggers. And, you know, when you think about how far it's come, and then it's like, wow, how much farther will it go? You know, the accuracy that we're seeing now is great.
Yeah, just to see the custom calibers and the accuracy and what they can do is you know, pretty phenomenal. 5-10 years ago, there's no way you'd have those ballistic you know, data on that. So yeah, I don't know. Anything you guys see that might come up that you think the next 5 years might be? I think hologram targets would be pretty cool, especially at nighttime, like night shoots and stuff. Like you can get a bullet going through them, and
That
That
would
would be pretty cool.
just to have like a lab dar there with like a hologram, and it just measure goes through and lights up or something, you know, like it'd be pretty. I think the technology.
Hey, you wouldn't have you wouldn't shoot targets off of the stand like we had Saturday.
Yeah, I had one shooter that hasn't shot in like 14 months that came to shoot my match, and she kept shooting all the targets off the stands. Like, I haven't had a target failure in like 4 matches, and I had 4 target failures from one shooter in this match, whoever that may have been.
Supposed to hit the targets, and I was center punching them, and they were
Nice.
I think if you have like the base for the hologram, right? So it could be like a big target, and then you could change a small target. Like you actually change the targets, the size too, or something. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool.
that would be really
Actually,
cool.
I'm
You could
patenting
make,
that.
if it's a beginner, you could have classes, and if you're in the beginner
Right.
class, it could be a bigger target, and if
Yeah.
you're in the
Cool.
pro class, it could be a smaller
You
target.
can have like, you know, like alphas and bravos too, right? Where you could score, you know, in the PRS,
Yeah.
in the alphas, you get more points, and you know, you've got these targets that
Can you imagine the arguments the shooters are
Oh,
going to have with the ROs
no.
over that?
No,
you
no.
can't, so it's all just
No.
you wouldn't, you honestly, you wouldn't even need an RO because it scores for you. You punch in there and the
Oh,
hologram
it would-
pops up, and
It would
What do you
automatically
want?
do it.
yeah,
Maybe you have like a little key card, like you're shooting sporting clays. You
Yeah.
go up to the stage, beep,
that's it. You pop in, your
5,
name comes up there, and
4.
exactly.
You know, some
Oh,
engineers, Mark, y'all should probably like monopolize on that.
Should do something like that, like the tech precision rifle or something like that.
Dude, if you wouldn't have to argue with ROs or have the ability to argue with ROs, it is what it
You don't need
is.
them. You can go shoot whenever you want. You just go up there, you just swipe your card. Okay, great. 10 seconds, shoot, you know. You have a little screen there too that shows you the course of fire, what you got to do, and you watch it. I'm gonna do it.
Link that straight into the live scoreboards.
Yeah, you can have an app too, so you can see all your score, everyone's scores as you know, it's all live updating. I don't know.
And at
That'd
that
be
point, we could just make it Bluetooth. So you just hold your phone up to it. You know, you don't need a key card. You know, you signed up, you paid for the match. You don't even got to check in. You just walk up to the stage, touch your phone to it.
Yep. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool.
Greg, do you think the majority of, I'll say, the more advanced shooters would catch on to that quickly? As far as the touching the phone to it and following the written stage brief?
Yeah, so I think we're definitely going to need.
You'd have to have a human there to get all the questions like, but when you say shooting from the rock, does that mean the gun on the rock or just my foot on the rock? Like, can my tripod be on top of the rock?
Can I shoot
have
prone
dro-
in
you
front of
have
the rock with my
drones.
feet propped up on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
Oh.
drones that would RO. They hover around you, making sure.
And they shoot
We're,
a little pellet gun at you if you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to be an RO.
Yeah, just but you can be an RO at the comfort of your home. You just fly your drone there. You can talk. You can shoot BBs if people be bad.
That would be
We're-
super fun.
we're experimenting with some new AI cameras that we could probably use for this.
Yeah.
You know, and just like if the rifle's not in the position when the shots are fired, it'll just be like, you know, incorrect position, try again.
Qualified.
Oh, that'd be great.
I don't know. It'd be nice to incorporate more tech into it and stuff and make things more accurate, more efficient. And I'm sure it'll come out, but who knows?
Yeah.
Just don't shoot the
So-
hologram base. They're expensive.
Just put a big piece of metal in front of it. There's no way. It's
Well,
downrange, it's getting shot.
Yep.
So hunting or competition, if you can only pick one, what are you picking for the rest of your life?
One competition.
Hunting or competition?
Don't do it to me, man. I can compete
The best question.
year round. I only can hunt for 2 weeks for rifle and 2 months for bow.
It's rough, man.
I'll probably competition because I shoot a bit more and there's a lot more going on. I can go buy food, but I can't go buy competitions. I guess.
I'd go buy
Probably
food.
the most honest answer so far.
I would say there's definitely a much more bigger adrenaline rush when you're hunting big game and you're out there hunting and you get something, and for sure it's very different feeling than competing and doing well or not doing well like me. I don't know. That probably is a competition. I could shoot you around, and there's so many different competitions you can do. Or I can do hunting. I don't
What's the
Yeah.
coolest thing you ever hunted?
know. Nothing cool. Ducks and deers and bears.
Bears are pretty cool.
I never got one though. Every time we go, I'm hunting deer. I see bears. I go hunt bears. I see deers. But I did get 2 deers last year, which I'm happy because I got skunked for a couple of years, so I couldn't actually go because I was so busy. But yeah, I don't nothing. I don't do any exotic big hunts. I just head up north in Ontario, Canada here, and we got some pretty good population of whitetails up here, and black bears, and some ducks too. So yeah, there's rifle seasons the first 2 weeks in November for deers, and then you can do bow season for I think October, November, and some of December for bows. Of that, so yeah, nothing cool. Sorry. How about you guys?
I've never hunted at all.
No.
What?
I know I want to go, but like I know people at competition shoot and they taught me how to do that, but hunting is a very different animal, no pun intended. And I've never done it, and I don't have anybody to be like, this is what you need to do, and like, don't wear perfume or the deer won't come by. I mean, you know what I'm not that I would, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more to hunting than just like, okay, let me line up and shoot.
Yeah.
Corey.
How about you guys? You guys really compete or hunt the boys?
I want to know Jill's answer.
I would pick hunting just because I love being around critters, and there's no critters in competition. Well, there's some.
There are some.
I'm not a big hunter at all. I've only been bird hunting. But my entire family is like all savage hunters. But I love scouting. I love going out and scouting before people go hunting. So I like going. I'm just not I've never really participated in anything larger than a bird.
Very cool.
How about you
Corey?
boys? What did you guys do?
Yeah, hunting.
Hunting?
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
getting
gonna say
done now.
competition.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't want to give up either.
And the look of pain on your face when he asked that, you were like, no, don't ask that.
It hits
Yeah.
different. It's an easy question to type, but it hits different when you ask it.
Yeah, and I'd say I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Corey's asked this question almost every show since he's joined us on the Shooter's Mindset, and your reaction was the best. Like we could see the pain inside of you, the pure suffering of being asked that to make that decision.
Well, I guess you phrase this way. Hey, you can go away for one weekend once a year. You can go for a hunt or you can go for a PRS competition. What would you rather do?
Oh, that's a hunt. That's
That
easy.
might change my answer.
Yeah, but that's not nearly as hard of a question.
Well, yeah. Well, the competition I can shoot every weekend. I compete just matches every weekend, right? Hunting, it's very limited season, right? So I'm just saying, like, I could. That's kind of why I would pick competition. But it was like you get like 3 weekends a year. You could do 3 matches or 3 hunts. It's like, oh, man, probably maybe I don't know. Damn it.
3 hunts.
I would love to go
Um,
and hunt elk because I've had elk before and it's really good.
I had elk for lunch today.
Nice.
a whole one.
Nice.
Not a whole.
I had 8.
I wouldn't want to hunt and not eat it. You know, I would want to use the meat.
We have to. Yeah.
I'll tell you, Jen, that's all fun and games until you shoot your first bobcat. It tastes nothing like chicken.
I was
Yeah.
about to say.
No, we cooked it orange chicken style. You know that the Panda Express orange sauce?
I don't like Chinese.
Yeah, it tasted
how was that?
nothing like chicken. It was good. You'll never mistake it for chicken. Like that joke is probably dead on me now. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah,
also,
it was different.
Panda Express is probably cat too.
no, it's definitely chicken.
Oh my gosh. So Mark's going to keep competing. That's it. We're not going to take that away from him. So that being said, what are
Okay,
your personal shooting goals? I want to hear from both of you for 2023.
Not suck. No. I don't know. Like, I don't. In Canada, there was one match, the Meaford match, but since COVID, that military base where they shoot on, it hasn't been the last 2 or 3 years, I think. So hopefully it comes up this year. It's a pretty fun match, and it's by a nice ski town, Blue Mountain, so it's a pretty cool area to stay in. We don't have the matches like you guys do in the States, where this you could probably drive within less than 3 hours and get a match almost every weekend for most kind of where you live. But we don't have the facilities, so I don't get to shoot. I do work a lot. 2 young kids, so that keeps me pretty busy. And I travel for work a lot too, so it's like traveling for work and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go away again. Just do have some fun stuff. It's tough. So my goal would be to shoot more this year because I didn't shoot very much last year. I even had to pull out the gap grind last year because work was just too busy. Broke my heart. So my first match is Vortex Vengeance in May. It's a good match with Matt Steiner, so I'm looking forward to that one. Probably do Pig River gap grind this year. And there's a 22 league up here that does about 8 matches a year. A couple hours driving, so usually one-day matches too. So I shoot all 22 PRS up here, but I'll probably get down to Pennsylvania a bit. It's only a 4-hour drive to MCAM. So I just got the 6 GT, so I'm shooting 6 GT now. So that'll be a bit of a learning curve for me this year on that rabbit hole. So that'll be shoot more matches and be proficient in 6 GT would be my goals.
Awesome. How about Jill?
Definitely shooting more this year. I want to learn much more about precision rifle shooting because I am a defensive shooter. So handguns, AKs, shotguns, just those style rifles or any old school vintage war rifles are what I enjoy shooting. So I'm still learning a lot in the precision rifle world. So I'm going to be picking Mark's brain and trying to brush up my skills in that category this year.
Mark, you
Jill,
need to come to Gap Grind and she can be your AM.
I said,
There you go.
well,
That's
Awesome.
a great match to start with, Jill, for real.
yeah.
That's where I started.
Well, Jill lives in Tennessee, and so she's not too far from Canaan. She's up in just north of Nashville. So yeah, definitely. We will probably do that. So get her trained up and do some dry firing, maybe 10,000 dry fires before then, and should be good to go.
Hey, you should come out to our match, the end of April.
Where is that?
It's a little
Texas, Minnesota.
Okay, let's see. Well, where's it? Where's it? Indianapolis. That's too early. I'll see. I'll try.
Yeah.
that would definitely be one to fly to.
Well, yeah, it's just
Yeah,
the real matches. You have to fly, rental cars, and hotel. Yeah, it gets a lot. It's not 8-hour drive. I can get there and back less, right? But definitely, yeah, the 2 more matches.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Do we have any
Mhm.
lives?
Jen, you're gonna shoot more too, right?
I am good. That is the goal. Yes.
You gotta shoot at least a dozen matches to keep your TriggerTech sponsorship, right? The
I
post,
know.
you need that jacket and the triggers.
Hey, I
It's the
haven't
most
shot a
expensive jacket
ton, but I
ever.
have been at a lot of matches and I have worn my TriggerTech jacket.
You can keep the jacket. Give me the triggers back. You're not using them.
He's ruthless.
I'm joking. Give it.
No, that is seriously my goal is to get, like I said before, I'm trying to get my husband a rifle built or buy him, and we're trying to see what he wants, what he likes.
Just hot gun it. You can just share with you, right? Gun going, share a gun.
He's wrong-handed.
I'm
Yeah,
a
we-
righty.
Perfect. He gets to be right-handed.
There you go. What cal do you shoot, Jen?
6 Creedmoor. Yeah, I did GT for 1 year and I just had trouble getting the load right. I had issues even when I went really low on my powder. I still was blowing primers and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was bad brass or I don't know. I don't think I suck at reloading because when I loaded 6 Creedmoor, I was like hammering. It was great, but anyway, I just traded back and went to 6 Creed and it was great ever since then. So
Yeah, no, that's what I showed
mhm.
for years. So
Any lives?
I'm not asking Corey Adamski's question. That involves clothing. That's
Oh,
Greg.
gosh.
He's got to ask that one.
You got to read it to me so I can see it. I'm not on it.
All
Put
right.
up my phone.
Corey said you're only a real Canadian if you celebrate by taking your shirt off or something like
Corey would say something like that.
that.
Corey and I had a bet a while ago somewhere down south. The punching machine, the punching machine where you got to punch it and it gets your score. And Corey's probably twice my size, big, very big macho dude. And I challenged him, and the bet was he's a Timney sponsored shooter, and if I punched a higher score, he would have to use a TriggerTech trigger in his next match. And if I lost, I'd have to wear his American flag short, silky shorts and shoot in the next match, the pro match. So stakes were pretty high.
Win-win for you.
Obviously, I beat him, even though he's way bigger and stronger, but punches like a girl.
Hilarious.
Good, Corey's gonna beat me up next time I see him for sure. Stay with him. Hey, Corey, ask for it. So, yeah, sorry, I'm not
That's
taking
pretty funny. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Did he shoot a TriggerTech?
Corey is shooting some TriggerTechs now. So he does have some, and thanks to Rick Scribbins, GCP rifles. We'll plug there for him. No.
That is
Yeah,
hilarious.
Rick's a great
Any
guy.
other
I like Rick.
Yeah, we were validating our AR9 triggers in Florida, and he came out a couple of days and helped put thousands of rounds down range for us, and got to see him. So, Rick, I love you, man. Thanks for coming out. Who's watching?
Any other lives in the,
That'll about do it.
how about do it? I was about to say, you're probably the only one monitoring it right now. Greg's a slacker on a work trip, you know?
Well, it's very
Nah,
cool.
it got rowdy.
It was very cool for Canadian to be in Florida in the swamp, shooting full autos with alligators beside you. It was a nice facility for friend Robert Keelan's using facility down there, and it was great. It was pretty fun. So
That is awesome. What are the next? Are there any matches that TriggerTech are going to?
yeah, I'll be at Vortex Vengeance. A couple of us will be there. Pennsylvania, first week in May or something. It's the first match. So I don't know. It's one after that. Probably Pig River. Shortly after.
River's beautiful. Have you been to Pig River?
Yeah, I did last year.
Yeah.
Josh was on a great course of fire and pretty fun. So it's a good match. We really enjoyed that one.
I love that one is so pretty to me. I love the grassy. Oh, and that we saw bears running across the middle of the field, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably the prettiest place I've ever been to.
Yeah, fighter jets low flying over the mountains, the hills over there.
yeah, it's yeah, I really enjoyed being up there. I went and camped up there when I was getting ready for Mammoth. Went and took a class from Sean and Greg, and we did it up there at Josh's place, and we camped out there. And man, that was the best weekend. It was just so fun and peaceful and out there camping. And then we got up and shot all day and then camped, and just gorgeous out there. But then I was laying in my tent thinking about, wow, last time I was here, we watched bears run across the range that's right there. And I'm only in a tent. And then I got worried about it. Like, well, if a bear comes, will I hear it? And if I do, should I just lay there still? Because what am I going to do?
Mhm.
I was a little scared of the bear. But all right, I think we can wind it down to shout outs. And we usually start with Corey.
I just want to shout out Mark. Y'all sent us a couple of loaner triggers after we told you how many were replaced. So that was awesome. You guys really appreciated that down here. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's we're shooters too. We know things happen. There are mechanical devices and things can happen, and we always support our shooters and our customers. So thank you for taking those triggers and helping out other shooters. And that's kind of the name of the game. And our sponsor shooters, actually, we call match savers. We laser engrave match saver, and they keep a spare trigger. If some of the triggers go down, they can lend match saver, and they don't have to get out of the match as well too. So we're happy to support, and we appreciate you guys helping out as well. So thank you.
Greg, what shout outs you got?
Well, I could also shout out Mark and TriggerTech for doing, a much smaller match after being saved by one of his match savers, actually at Alabama Precision.
That was
I
Oren.
now also have, yep, that was Oren saved my butt in that match. After if you fill the entire thing with sand, for some reason it doesn't work quite as well. Like, made it through 9 stages like that, and stage number 10 is where we start having issues.
You're supposed
but
to
now I
dry
also
fire it 10 times, right, Mark?
There's actually a guy on YouTube. I forget his name. He took our AR triggers and literally packed it full of sand, and it still worked. Cool video. Like, he literally just filled the whole lower receiver with sand, and it fired fine. And it's pretty cool. The RAM triggers are a bit different. Diamonds, you probably can't fill those up. But you can.
Yeah, I think that it was just I didn't have enough time to get all of the sand out of the trigger, so swap that out real quick, and now I have an extra trigger to save people at my matches, which I did last month, and whatever matches I'm at.
Perfect. Well, that's good. Thanks for doing that.
Jill, you got any shout outs?
You know what? I'll give one to Mark too. He never helps me with the shooting aspect yet. You're going to with precision stuff. But even as a competitor and now as a teammate, he's helped me with a tremendous amount of things. And I would not have been as successful with TriggerTech in these last few months as I have been without him. So thanks, buddy.
We're all sappy here. All right, fine, my turn.
Yep, your turn.
Well, thank you, Jill. Joe's been a great addition to the team, and brought years of experience and relationships, and doing very, very well for us. It's been a great pickup. So really happy she's over here, and good job, Jill.
Thanks.
Is that it for your shout outs?
Shout out to Jen for wearing the jacket all the time. Shout out to you guys for having me on the podcast again.
And to Rick and Corey and Brian, hey, mwah, thank you for watching. You guys are the best.
Okay, can we do it? Can we do a quick trivia question? The first person to answer the chat gets a free trigger.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Hold on. Are we watching?
I'm watching the chat. I got it.
You got it? Okay. Corey's calling.
Someone's,
I'm gonna ask a
someone's
question.
responsible.
I ask a question, and the first person to put in the chat, I'll ship you a free trigger of your choice. What was the first platform of triggers that TriggerTech made?
I know the answer. to
Corey was the first person in chat. He actually wrote it down.
No, Corey. No, Corey can't have trigger.
I meant this Corey.
Oh, you? Oh, yeah. Oh, damn.
He met himself.
All right. There's a hint
Hey
here.
Rick, that's a fast answer.
There's a hint here.
I was about to say,
on
we
the logo.
talked about it earlier. If they
The
were,
hint on the
Yeah.
logo here. You can see this arrow. Did anyone get it yet?
who got
Yeah,
it?
Rick got it real fast.
Rick?
Yeah, Rick
Rick.
Scrivens.
He's one of our dealers.
I'm waiting for the person to copy his answer.
Yeah. Someone copy Rick's answer, you get the trigger.
Hey,
Like the
babe, go
story
on
of
our
MC.
Facebook and
Geez, I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna win this thing.
hey, babe, go on our thing and write archery. Yeah.
Crossbows. It's crossbows.
It's great
Right
because Corey
crossbows.
actually did
Nope.
copy his answer.
Corey Adamski got it.
Yes, he did.
I'll let you guys pick the winner and just email me.
Yep,
There you
we got you, buddy.
All right, just send it to me.
Make
Rick's texted me now. He's gonna be very. Rick, I can't repeat what he texted me. He's very upset. He's not getting a free trigger.
He's giving away a free trigger. Oh my. All right.
You guys let me know.
Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna say, you guys let me know who the winner is, and we'll do something. So
Yeah, we'll send you that for sure. We'll get that. Corey, I'm giving you all the pressure of that because I had to be the host and actually be the tech host tonight because Greg's in a hotel and it makes me nervous. So you have to pick the person.
Got it. You did great, Jen.
We're not
I'm
done.
just waiting for literally the first person that's not. I don't think Corey counts. I don't think.
Write it, Damien. Oh. All right. Well, for my shout outs, I do, and not to sound cliche because everybody else has already said this, but I do want to shout out Mark and TriggerTech for like legitimately, y'all have always consistently been at the matches. Your stuff is on the prize tables, even if you're not there. Just about at every single match, there's at least one TriggerTech trigger on the table, it seems like. So y'all really do give a lot. You know, people have a trigger break and you send them a new one. Y'all just do a lot for the shooting sports. So I do want to shout out, not just that you have great triggers, but you know, that you're out there for the shooters, and not all companies are that involved. And so we appreciate it. I know it's a lot of stress on, you know, you with all the travel, and I'm sure that your family is like, you know, we want you at home. So I get it that, you know, going to all those matches is hard and all the shows. So huge shout out to what you do to help grow this sport. And I'm really excited to see what is coming down the pipe from y'all, because I really do think y'all have some innovative triggers. And so I'm super excited to see how this Glock trigger comes out, even if it takes another couple of years. I know it's because y'all are doing so much research and R&D on it.
yeah, no, it's very exciting. So you know, we definitely do appreciate the support and our customers, and we do support them. And without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So you know, giving back and making sure you guys' guns are running and you're taken care of, and you know, keep buying TriggerTechs, and we keep supporting you, and you have confidence in our products. And if something does happen, we take care of you. So we take great pride in that, and we're very grateful for all of our customers. So thank you guys for supporting us and keeping us in business. And lots more to come from TriggerTech in the coming years too. So we're very excited to bring some new products and new platforms, and we'll see you guys at matches and other shows for sure. So
That's right. So check out TriggerTech. If you have not checked them out, definitely check out their website. What is the website? Just in case anybody is wanting to look.
TriggerTech.com.
Yep. Really hard to remember.
Yep.
I like when it's nice and simple like that. Easy to remember. Sometimes I'll be doing videos with people and their website is some really weird thing that I can't, and you got to like spell things out. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or just like their email addresses are like 50 letters or something like that. It's just like 6 words. It's like, really?
And like 15 of them are L's.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And with that, it'll be a wrap for episode 399, and we will see everybody next time.